Today we will be teaching you about the Vietnam War. In 1954, the Viet Minh defeated the French army to end the French Indochina War. North Vietnam believed the government should be communist, and South Vietnam was against this idea. The country was divided at the 17th parallel, which was a demilitarized zone. The Republic of Vietnam, which is in the south, had the backing of the United States, and their leader was a man named Ngo Dinh Diem. The North Vietnam Communist government was backed by the Soviet Union, who wanted to avoid direct war with the U.S. and China, and their primary leader throughout the war was Ho Chi Minh. Minh turned communist when the U.S. did not support the independence of Indochina during the Treaty of Versailles. Ngo Dinh Diem pushed for Catholic religion and had his brother, the head of the secret police, persecute Buddhists. From then we moved to 1959, where communist supporters in South Vietnam set up Ho Chi Minh Trail to support troops from North Vietnam and transfer supplies. In 1960, JFK was elected president and wanted to support South Vietnam. He wanted to prove to his allies and communists that the U.S. could combat communism after failures like Bay of Pigs and the construction of the Berlin Wall. Kennedy did not think that Diem was a good leader and wished to oust him out of power. In 1963, Diem and his brother were assassinated. Later that year, President Kennedy was also assassinated, leaving the fate of the U.S. involvement in the war to Lyndon B. Johnson. Johnson put troops into Vietnam in March 1965 and marked the start of the U.S. ground campaign in Vietnam. By December, the number of troops was escalated. The NRA and the Viet Cong were prepared for this, though, and used hit-and-run guerrilla tactics to fight the U.S. troops. Then, in 1968, the NRA and Viet Cong launched the Tet Offensive, attacking 100 cities, the U.S. headquarters, and the U.S. Embassy in Saigon. Many U.S. civilians did not like the war in Vietnam and opposed U.S. involvement. Most protests were led by young people who did not want to be drafted into the war. Nixon was then elected President of the United States and came up with the idea to build up the strength of South Vietnam forces so they could take over the war. In 1973, President Nixon got the North and South to sign a ceasefire in Paris, allowing the U.S. to finally leave Vietnam. 2 years later, the North Vietnam launched an invasion on South Vietnam, capturing Saigon and forcing the South to surrender. This led to the formation of one communist country,